What's up everybody, this is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and today I got a recipe for all my hippies and all my vegetarian subscribers out there. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is an Orzo Pasta Salad. We're going to be stuffing that in some hothouse tomatoes. Should be delicious. Anyway, let's talk about these ingredients. First of all, we have some Orzo pasta. We're going to cook that according to the directions. We have some cherry tomatoes. I have some orange ones and some red ones. We're just going to quarter those. I have some olives that we're just going to thinly slice. These are jalapeno stuffed olives. We're going to be using a little bit of coarse black pepper. Cucumber. This is a regular old cucumber. What we're going to do is remove half of the skin, remove the seeds, and we're going to dice that up. Like I said, we have our hothouse tomatoes. We're going to be using a couple limes. Typically you're going to be using lemon in a recipe like this, but you know what? I had lime and that's what we're rolling with. We're going to be using a little bit of red wine vinegar, some red onions we're going to dice up. I have some Italian flat leaf parsley that we're going to go ahead and mince up. Some Mediterranean sea salt to go along with that pepper. Very simple recipe. Now the first thing I need to do is get working on these vegetables, so when I'm done with that, we'll meet back. So one thing I forgot to mention earlier when I was going through the ingredients is that we are going to be using a little feta cheese. Sorry about missing that. And as far as these cherry tomatoes go, I was just going to quarter them. I did just go ahead and kind of chop those up a little bit finer. I am tripling this recipe, so I'm going to just kind of throw everything in here. But if you go down in the description box, I'm going to have the exact recipe for 4 servings in there. Anyway, I have my Orzo pasta, and that has been cooked per the instructions on the package. Now we're just going to go ahead and add all of our ingredients. So we got our cucumbers that I have chopped up and de-seeded. We have our red onion, and I chopped that up pretty finely. Our tomatoes, our flat leaf parsley that we have minced up, and our olives. Basically I cut the olives in half and then that's just thinly slice those. So let's just give this a good toss. And the reason I'm tripling this recipe up, I think this is a perfect recipe for my wife to take to work. Alright, that's tossed enough. What I'm going to do now is make our little dressing. So I'm going to hit it with some olive oil. Now at this point I am just going to be eyeballing it. I have a basic idea of what the recipe calls for, but like I said, it will be in the description. So we have our olive oil. We're going to hit it with our red wine vinegar. Our salt, kosher salt, regular salt, any kind of salt you want. And this isn't coming out quite as good as I would like it to. And our black pepper. Now I go a little heavy on the black pepper just because I like hotter stuff. And our lime juice. Let me grab something to stir it up with. We're just going to whisk this together, and then we're just going to pour it over the pasta. And you know, Orzo is a pasta. I think, you know, if you don't have Orzo and you have some left, or you have some rice or something like that, you know what, I do the same exact recipe and just substitute the Orzo with rice. So we have this all stirred in. Tasty. The only thing left to do is to grab these tomatoes and start stuffing them. So we got our tomatoes here. I'm only going to stuff a couple of these tomatoes. This is just for appearance purposes only. One of the tomatoes I got was kind of bad on one end, so I just did something like this for a little bit of garnish. I am going to go ahead and add our feta cheese now. I'm going to stir this in. So the the tomatoes, that was basically only for appearance purposes. So that is nothing that you need to absolutely have as far as, you know, these tomatoes here we're going to be using to stuff them. Alright, we got that stirred in. Grab our tomatoes. Stuff those up so when you're eating them, bang, slice off a little bit of that tomato, get some of that orzo in there, that's a done deal. Anyway, I'm going to get this second one done, and then it's going to be time to plate up. So this is what it looks like all plated up. Let's eat. So this Orzo Pasta Salad is a wrap. I'll be the first one to tell you that if I wasn't making a video on this stuff, I would have foregone those tomatoes. But sometimes when you're making videos, it has to appear, you know, it has to have a little bit of a better appearance. So if you're making this at home, I'm going to say, you know what, just skip them tomatoes, or at least stuffing the tomatoes is good enough without it. I've already taken a little bit of sample, so let me do it on camera now and try to act surprised. Mmm! That's some good stuff. No, I'm serious. This recipe right here, especially going into summertime, it's a nice, bright, kind of a refreshing kind of a deal. I'm going to tell you, my wife is going to love taking this to work, and trust me, I'm going to be killing it myself. And you know I do have a hippie vegetarian daughter. Anyway, thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.